After an epic weekend, just 6 teams remain in the race for the premiership, but it was the final game on Sunday that will be remembered forever. 3 sin bins, 4 missed field goals, and the Raiders robbed of a winning moment not once, but twice. After 94 minutes, a veteran Bronco broke the deadlock.
This is the final everyone has been waiting all weekend for. The Canberra Raiders, #1 against these suddenly hot Brisbane Broncos. We're off and running, Raiders and Broncos. Walsh at first receiver, the double pump, and going through and going over is Katoni Staggs. Last, Fogarty rolls it in, Hudson Young is over. Kaya Weeks into the space, Kaya Weeks goes for it, the flying mullet is over. Now it's Shibasaki staying alive, and his pass put down.
Oh yeah, here we go, look at this.
And now,
look at this.
This is a little meatier than usual. Ooh, Walsh at bacon, then just leading with the head. Careful, Reece.
Hey.
You've run in there and got in his face right, which makes him react right. You're going to go to the bin for 10 minutes.
Wow.
They've set a precedent now, you're allowed to headbutt.
Don't know how they got the penalty, to be honest.
They've got it 100% wrong, but we shouldn't make it about that.
You're in the bin as well.
And look at Walsh here, and he's getting caught up here with the locals.
Now Kaya Weeks is away. Who's going to run him down? Kaya Weeks is in the clear. Hang on. Mariner gaining. Kaya Weeks will score. Harrigan trying to change the momentum here as he irons out Smithy. Well, if that's shoulder on head, this will be 10. Brisbane are unravelling. Brisbane on the ropes. Here's Fogarty on. Strange. Strange will go. Strange will score. And Fogarty, now he has that in him at times, but right now it's not mattering. The margin is 16 and there's 22 and a half to go. Now Walsh on the run. Walsh slices through. This is Reece Walsh at his best. Now the kick from inside the 40. No way! No way! Walsh! Walters. Shot ball! They've done it again! Shibasaki is in! Walsh on an angle. Touched by Canberra. Line ball. Siren! Raiders win! Raiders hold on! Hang on. They are reviewing the charge down on the field goal. That's going to be a penalty goal attempt. Brisbane were down by 16 with 14 to play. 28 all. Fogarty goes to the air. He ran it back. Hosking away to Fogarty. Fogarty is over. They've done it again. The Raiders march on. And they're going to be denied again.
The ball goes forward into the Broncos. The first knock-on will be Canberra.
Twice now, they have celebrated victory and twice had it denied. To win the game, Ben Hunt, he's only got 1 field goal in his career. He kicks it. It's long. It's over. It looks like a field goal. The comeback in the capital is complete. Unbelievable. Brisbane 29, Canberra 28.
Welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle, brought to you by Regain. Joining me again, the great Gordon Tallis. Let's bring the journos in. Buzz Rothfield.
Hello, guys.
And Brent Reid. Well, if you didn't believe in miracles before yesterday, you do today. One of the best finals games in NRL history, if not the best, Gordy. What a game this was down in Canberra.
Absolutely. I think the game's been waiting. I think it was 30 years since probably they played their last finals game against each other. You go there, beautiful day. Perfect conditions for rugby league, and they delivered. What a performance from both clubs.
Guys, I've been going to rugby league probably since the 70s, a kid, and I've seen Origins, I've seen grand finals, I've seen test matches. Walked out of Canberra Stadium last night, not sure I've seen anything as stirring, dramatic, epic as that 94 minutes of footy yesterday afternoon. It was off the charts, entertainment, drama, high drama.
Yeah, you summed it up, Buzz. I mean, I was on the sideline for it, and it was just hectic. It was manic. You couldn't sit still. Yeah. And Ricky was right beside me, and he was, lapping up. It reminded me of the day a young Braithen Astor kicked a field goal to win a game. That was a final, wasn't it, Brate?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, shades of that.
Well, even watching it, of course I played in that game, but it did remind me of that. There's so many turning points and dramatic moments, and I was at a mate's place, and with 20 minutes to go, I nearly went home. And I thought, no, I'll wait a couple of minutes. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't, right? But let's get straight to it. Madge, Has he proven the doubters wrong, Buzz?
Army Kings, baby.
Buzz.
It's funny, Bulldog Richie's doing a column on this. He asked me today, would I apologise to Madge? And my answer is, no, I won't, because I wrote this. No, well, why would I? I wrote the story on reliable intelligence at the start of the year, Madge having been sacked by the West Tigers and Souths, that the Broncos players were struggling to adjust to his demands there. The story was 100% accurate. Later in the year, he took them on a harbour cruise. 2 days later, they came out and they got flogged by South Sydney down the bottom of the ladder. I looked into it and they had the Port Denison cultural experience. I actually think, well, it's true.
Tom Slingsby.
Tom Slingsby, remember?
Yeah, Tom
Motivational
Slingsby.
chat.
Yeah. Tom
Did they get
Slingsby.
fed on that cruise again? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Was it a seafood platter or something?
Oh, Braith, I didn't look at the menu. But I do not apologise for the fact that they were struggling at that time. And I'm of the opinion that Madge might have met the players in the middle a little bit and just knocked it back slightly. And that's my view.
Is that your view?
And that's
See,
what people...
I remember saying at the
right?
time is that once they understand what he's trying to do and why he's doing it, they'll reap the benefits.
Sure.
And they have. And I think Madge has proven... I'm not sorry, Buzz, but I think he's proven you wrong. You were a doubter too there, Gordy, at the start of the year, and you can understand why, because they weren't performing where we thought they would, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, as long as you're happy,
as
long as you're happy before we go off air, after the grand final, if we can analyse some of the statements you've made
You can get them
this
all.
year.
Buzz, go for it. Start with one now.
I don't have one.
Exactly.
I'm not prepared
I've
for
got
that.
a few for you if you'd like me to.
Braith, all that hard work they've put in, all those army camps, all the vomit buckets, that's so you can win games in the 94th minute in the finals. And that's what they did on the weekend. So we can all question Madge's methods. We've all questioned them over the years. I've had my doubts when he was at the West Tigers. But at the moment, he's having the last laugh because they're one game away from the grand final.
They got to win.
They got to win.
And
they
then
got to win
that
the prelim,
game,
Gordy.
I've watched enough. The Raiders had it won at 28-12.
They did, yeah.
They had it won and they stopped playing.
Yeah. And a bloke like named Reece Walsh
And
started
then Reece Walsh is a freak.
So when
you
they
talk about army camps, Reece don't need him. He just needs the ball in his hands.
Where did they get it wrong then, Canberra? You said they stopped playing.
Yeah.
You were there, you watched it firsthand. What do you mean by that?
Well, it just felt like they stopped attacking. So when they scored that try, the whole fans went up and we were in the ground and they celebrated like they won. And it was like that they got over
strange
the hurdle.
try?
Yeah. And it felt like that Brisbane were going away. Like they had a couple of sets, no forwards had touched the ball. Katoni Staggs got them out. But I thought the Raiders started playing not to lose the game. They just thought, let's get through our sets, get through our kick a bit. What Brisbane did in the 2015 grand final, how they just sort of shut up shop, let's just defend ourselves. There's a couple of players in the sin bin.
This happens in finals. It's like the grand final 2 years ago when...
the 23 GF, it's got
the Broncos
a smell about
were home
that.
and Penrith came from nowhere. Technically, it was there for all to see yesterday, and you don't have to be a journo or a former player. Canberra have an issue on the right side, their defence. Matt Timoko struggled there yesterday, not just with his D, but reading it. And the Broncos just kept going bash.
But Buzz, you also need great players to make stuff happen. When you're down like that, Nathan Cleary, you mentioned 2 years ago, Nathan Cleary stood up with 20 minutes to go and won that grand final just about single-handedly. Reece Walsh stood up 20 to go in this game. And he just about won this game single-handedly as well because...
He sort of did.
We did, yeah.
The 40
he's a freak.
I can't wait till we get to the fact whether he should have been on the field.
Well, we're going to get there right now. Let's get to it. The huge debate over the Reece Walsh and Hudson Young sin bin. There was so much drama. This is the talk of the town. People are split over this. Let's get into it. I'll let you get the first runs.
Yeah, well, I can tell our viewers straight away that Ash Klein, the referee, got a pass mark out of this game. And Ash Klein got a pass mark out of the game and will be in control of one of the two finals this weekend. I don't know who it will. Gordy, I'm just telling you the news.
What happened there? You just let one rip.
I thought he had an off game.
No,
I didn't think he had his best game.
I can't believe he got a pass, mate.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll tell you, Gordy, it was a tough game. 94 minutes is tough.
That's what you got to get to. That's why you got to get the decisions right. I tell you what, it's tougher for a player.
I just want to.
It's tougher for players.
Let's go through the decisions then, okay? Yep. Let's go through the first one. This one, the headbutt here from Reece Walsh. Did he get it wrong? Or what's your take on it?
He got the sin binning wrong. So if you're going to get sin bin now for celebrating and getting in players' faces, there won't be a player every week. I watched that Cronulla winger.
So you're saying the young sin bin's wrong, you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. So, mate, for you to come and get in someone's face, how many times do we watch it? We don't like it, right? But he's allowed to do that. Hudson Young did nothing wrong. That is not a sin-binnable offence. And Reece Walsh, should he got sin bin? Maybe.
I think the NRL's view is, Gordy, that Hudson Young initiated contact. He didn't just get in his face. He initiated contact with him. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think it's a sin bin. I don't think he should have been sin bin.
Do you believe what they told you?
Yeah, I believe that's why they backed the decision. I don't back the decision. No, I don't think it was a sin bin. I'm just telling you what they were saying.
What I would say, though, in defence of the NRL, is that at times throughout the season and past seasons, the player who runs in and incites the melee is often the one. If
the
it turns in,
third man in, but then that's just those two. That's not third man in.
Well,
third man in's Tarpany.
Yeah, it's the third man.
So, mate, if he went off, I'd go, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But Hudson Young doesn't deserve.
The concession I got out of the NRL today was, from that incident, Canberra was penalised. They have now admitted that Canberra should have got the penalty.
Absolutely.
And people describe it like this. If you've got a dickhead act, which is Hudson Young, right, behaving like he did, and you've got a headbutt, which is blatant foul play, the foul play far outweighs the dickhead. And it was a crucial time of the game, and they got the penalty wrong.
You're spot on. We'll go a little deeper into those as well. But Reece Walsh not being cited, thoughts on that?
I agree. I don't think there was too much in it. I just would like to know if that was Nelson or Solomon.
Got charged. Grade 1 headbutt.
Yeah. If that was Nelson headbutting Reece, what would happen? That's just as long as we're consistent. I don't think there's too much in it. Like, I really don't. I don't think it's worth a week on the sideline. Do you think it's worth a week on the sideline?
And I think you're about to talk to it.
Yeah, the
consistency.
Is it consistent?
The NRL have given us detail which is very much consistent.
Yep.
The last 5 players who headbutted opponents on the field in a similar manner, not overly serious, but still a headbutt, have got off with a grade 1, didn't miss any footy.
Well,
now, Victor Radley, example, he got 3 weeks. His was all about loading.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's the difference. So I am certainly not going to be bagging them about lack of consistency.
Because a lot of people were messaging me today from clubs and talking about Victor, and but it's had nothing to do. He had a poor record. Victor,
so Victor had loading. That's why. Right.
Yeah. That's why.
I mean, when you look at those replays, you can see it's very similar to the Reece Walsh thing. So.
You don't want it. You don't want it being part of
so
the game.
everyone's happy that Reece Walsh is playing next week.
Yeah.
That we got that out of the way.
Yes.
Okay. I want to get back to that penalty. So they got it wrong. The penalty. The NRL have admitted that. They did. There should have been a penalty to
the Raiders.
I think so.
As a result of the headbutt. They've confirmed that to me.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons. Look, Klein didn't get a better than a pass. They tell me that was Klein's decision. The bunker ruled, had a look at it, but it was Klein's decision to penalise Canberra for an in-your-face act of stupidity.
Yeah.
And you know football players like Hudson Young, and you're never going to stop it, are always going to applaud a mistake like that and get in opponent's face.
Were you happy with it, that call?
The submitting or I thought the penalty was wrong. The penalty went to the wrong team. There's no doubt about that, Brent. I mean, Canberra should have got the penalty in that situation because Reece committed the graver action.
Where's all the drama then? You guys were saying Ash Klein didn't have a good day. Where do you get it wrong?
Mate,
where were the calls that were wrong?
Well, a couple of times sides, like to watch it live, Brisbane were offside by metres at some stage. I thought when Starling went through on play 2 of the game and he pulled them up, they lost all the momentum. Papali was a tough carry. The second play the ball of the game, Starling goes through a gap, right? And then they lose all momentum. And
I thought he got that one right, though.
Okay, then Billy Walters did it 20 minutes, about 15 minutes after.
Then he missed
and there was no penalty. So he just wanted to be consistent. That's what I'm saying. So it's not about the Raiders getting penalised, it's about he didn't. So then there's consistency in the referee. If we're talking about the referee, consistency in his performance through the game, And I'm not a referee, but I know that he wouldn't have got a pass.
I know one thing, Canberra had every opportunity to win that game.
Absolutely.
They should have won that
and
game.
they wouldn't be blaming the
That's
referee.
right.
But
And the interesting thing is, I
pass.
spoke to Ricky Stewart this morning, and you know he was down. He was.
Was Ricky calm?
Yeah, he was calm.
Was your phone like an iron, just steam coming out of the head?
Mate, he was really, really shitty. He wasn't happy, and he's made his feelings known.
What, mixed emotions about his team?
To Andrew Abdo and to Peter V'landys. He's made his feelings known to them. But what I got out of the conversation is he's going to walk into that presentation night tonight. He's going to be upbeat, and he's going to pick those young players off the canvas, the disappointment of yesterday, and they're going to rock up Saturday afternoon. Yeah. And that game against Cronulla will be a colossal game.
It's a big job for Ricky.
He will not give up.
It's a big job for Ricky because it's unprecedented. Like, he kissed his players on the bench and celebrated like they'd won. Yeah. They pretty much had won 2 or 3 times.
I don't know what they hold. Yeah, like twice. Mate, they celebrated Buzz standing beside me. I'm thinking, they've won this. Yeah. Like, I'm sitting there going, wow.
Well, the challenge is mental, right? It's not so much physical for them.
Yes. No.
It's a mental challenge to get those blokes up again after they've... I'd imagine that the dressing room would have been so deflated after that game.
If they can get that right ready, I think they'll be fine because they are a great team and they showed that yesterday still, even though they lost, you know. So they're a young team, but they're a brilliant team.
I can report that it was so emotional and so tense there. On the bus trip home last night, Gordy needed to have a few beers just to settle himself down.
Just a couple.
You two on a bus together?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was like a nursing home bus.
Oh, wow. It sounds exciting.
Mate, Reedy was on there too. Reedy,
just keeping everything under control, mate.
How many bathroom stops did we have to make for
Jimmy
Gordy?
Graham. Well, Gordon, was Jimmy Graham.
Oh, right.
Honestly, that bloke's bladder.
I didn't get
He's got
the
massive
invite,
problems.
I got brushed.
He was like the nerd at school with the computer out, just doing his homework.
All right, else. Now, you talk about pressure. You talk about big moments, and there was a question mark over Jamal Fogarty heading into this game. And through no fault of his own, he just hadn't been put under pressure in big moments, and there was a question mark. Will we say that he fell short yesterday?
Well, that's a question for you, being a half.
Yeah, yes, he did. And it was this moment here.
The field goal got me, Braith.
The field goal.
So that kick's kickable.
Yeah, and you know, like, it's hard to... I hate even saying it or even having to look at this and go over it because it would be heartbreaking for him. And he's had such an incredible year, and he's a great player. But again, nothing compares to when you've got the kick and it means so much to not only you, but to your team, the fans. You threw to a prelim, and that's when you find out what you're made of, you know, and he still needs to prove that to all of us and himself.
Against Penrith, I think he missed the kick too. He had it, about 35 out,
and
he missed a couple of field goals
I
as
think you
well.
can say this about Fogarty. I think he's been in the top half dozen halfbacks this year, but there have been a couple of clutch moments that the really good halves, the Cherry Evanses, the Clearys and those sort of guys, they get them.
Well, you've got to make that field goal. You know, he's perfectly set up for it. He's 15, 20 metres out. You've just got to 20 metres out. You've got to nail that.
Can I just ask, Braith, is he in the right position there?
No,
that's what I think.
You kick in right foot, right side of the post. If you're a right footer, you want to be at the right post, and then you throw it so you're around the left post, so it opens up and the marker's got to chase from the
further.
Yeah, further.
I mean,
away.
no one's saying he's not a great player, Braith. I mean, it's just.
Sorry, I got that wrong. You go to the left post for a right foot kick, so they actually.
Halves get measured on their ability to close the game out, and he had that opportunity on the weekend. And this one, it gets me because he's in perfect position. He's got time on his side. It's set up. You've just got to make that.
Yeah, they didn't really set up for it that well, but neither did Brisbane. They had a chance to set up for one as well earlier. I think it was in Golden Point, and they didn't even go for it.
What about the Walsh attempt, though? That was
crossbar.
crazy.
Yeah,
40
crossbar.
What odds are you from 42 out to bounce off a crossbar?
And
that was a
and he didn't hit it properly either.
No.
It went too high. Then if he nails
odds?
it goes over the back.
Oh, it was a crazy game. Now, Billy Walters, unfortunately for him, suffering a partial ACL tear. Now, does that mean, do we know much about the partial ACL? Is he gone for the season?
He's got to see a specialist on Wednesday, Braith, and it's highly unlikely he'll play again this year, but we won't know for sure until he sees that specialist on Wednesday. So I mean, it's a devastating blow for Billy because, again, yesterday, Billy was outstanding at 5'8".
Well, we're going to come on and debate about whether Reynolds should be in or out. Now, he comes straight in, right? And how do we see
He
that?
should have come straight in anyway, Brent.
Well,
I can't even believe
I don't know about
I
that.
cannot even believe we're having this.
Oh,
this has
Brady.
been debated. He's
Brady-
the captain of the footy team.
Yeah, I know
Doesn't
he's the
mean whether
captain
you're
of the
captain.
footy
Mate,
team.
it contributes a bit. And he's a very, very good player.
Reedy, I'm going to give you one thing. If you have Ben Hunt's career and Adam Reynolds' career, and they retire, who's had a better career?
Would you say Ben Hunt had a
Ben Hunt's had a
Would
better
you say
career.
he had a great
He's
game?
played- he's won
Would you say he
Origin
had a great
matches.
game yesterday? Because Ben Hunt, in his own words,
You know what? You know what he did?
stinker.
He got the job done.
He did.
Brady,
but-
can I
He
just
got the job done.
Go hit me with your right bow.
I haven't had a right bow at you for a while.
Well, we'll
tell
determine
you
the right
why-
ballot. You got to do it at the end.
Yeah,
we don't know
right.
what's coming.
Well, I just wanted to short circuit it and get in. I tell you what Ben Hunt's done. He has set Reece Walsh alight.
Absolutely.
Whereas Reece was making a lot of mistakes when Renault was there. He was.
Reece has played
What do
some
they call
pretty
him?
good football alongside Adam Reynolds.
He
He's
has.
played his best in his last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I
I think he's played
honestly
pretty good
think-
footy over the last
I think
couple of years.
I'm with
Reece
Rudy.
Walsh.
I'm with Rudy.
Well, you would've brought
I
him
would have
back,
brought
eh?
him straight back in. So you guys are saying that if Walters is fit and was
We're not
fit,
talking-
Reynolds would have played his last game for the Broncos
Hold
this
on,
year.
Reedy thinks Galvin should have went in straight into the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I still
we'll
believe
get to
that.
that later.
We'll get to that. I
Okay,
still
well,
believe it.
mate,
I'm happy to go there with you.
No, so we're not talking about a rookie. We're talking about a 300-game
Yeah.
guy that's played 20 State of Origins, that's
Yeah, but
got
I'm
the
not
job
saying,
done.
I'm not
that's
saying
played
Ben
in
Hunt
grand
shouldn't be in the team,
No,
buddy.
neither am I.
I'm
No.
not saying Ben Hunt shouldn't be in the team.
Listen, you don't change a winning formula.
You do for blokes like Adam Reynolds. I believe you do anyway.
Yeah, Buzz, what do you think?
He just
I
told
already
me.
right
You
now.
already-
him.
I don't feel like I've got
I
right
don't think it
ballot.
was a right ballot.
No,
You're
I
going
was
to
in a
say
left
them for the
ballot.
better ones,
If
Buzz.
Walters was fit, there is no way, in my view, you can change the Broncos side that has set this competition
Big call
alight for the last
from the
3
boys.
weeks.
Big call from the boys, that one.
Well,
Five in a row.
I'm really firm in that view.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. Broncos to play winner of Panthers and the Bulldogs. Do they have what it takes to win the comp?
Ready?
Someone, something.
Well, Braith, I said you've got to be in the top 4 to win it. I thought it was a 2-horse race a couple of weeks ago. I think they can win it, Brisbane.
Okay.
Definitely. But it's going to be tough. They're going to have Pat Carrigan next game. And obviously Billy Walters now. So I still think Melbourne are the favourites.
Still think Melbourne are the
Oh,
favourites?
yeah. How do you?
Okay, we'll get to that a little bit later. What do you think? They can win the comp, the Raiders, or not? Sorry, the
Brisbane?
Broncos?
Yeah, they're a hope, yeah. Anyone who's, in a qualifier for the
That
grand
didn't sound
final.
convincing at
No,
all.
it didn't.
That did not
No,
sound
it is.
convincing.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And all we're talking about is the halves. That's Stags. What about him? What about the
Stakes
football?
has been unbelievable.
I reckon he was the real saviour yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of those carries
Yeah.
down their own end.
And-
When it mattered.
Yeah. The other person who's going to appreciate this 2 weeks off more than anyone's Payne Haas. With that, he had a bit of a hobble yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think they can win it, yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the massive week. Yeah, it was a massive week, and this was first one of finals week. Now, the Storm beating the Bulldogs 26 points to 18. What a game that was. On Saturday, the Panthers were too good for the Warriors, 24-8, and then followed up with the Sharks. Too good for the Roosters, 20 points to 10, finishing with that epic encounter. The Raiders, 28, but getting beaten by the Broncos, 29. Now, this is week 2, this Saturday, 6 p.m. Raiders up against the Sharks, followed by, on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. afternoon game, the Bulldogs taking on the Panthers. Now, there is some late breaking news. The prelim schedule has changed, and here it is right here. The Melbourne Storm now will play on the Friday, September 26th, either the Raiders or Sharks, and the Broncos now play on Sunday, September 28th, against the winner of the Bulldogs and Panthers. What do we think of this?
It's a bit of an advantage to the Storm. A couple of days extra rest. I think it's... Look, I mean, Sunday afternoon's been going gangbusters for the NRL in the finals. Yesterday's game went through the roof, so I can sort of understand why they've done it, but it does give the Storm a bit of an edge, I reckon. Well, whoever wins that game on Friday night, a bit of an edge going into the grand
So
final.
why don't they move Storm to Saturday? I know
Yeah,
it's the
because
AFL Grand
yeah.
Final, but it's going to be finished for 2 hours.
Yeah,
And they're playing in the same
think
precinct.
Melbourne stops the City on AFL Grand Final day.
Shouldn't stop our game.
I probably agree with you, Gordy. I probably agree, and I think Reedy makes a fair point that one team gets 9
Or
days
Brisbane
to prepare.
Saturday night.
One team gets 9 days to
know?
repair, the other gets 7. Why couldn't they play the Broncos, you know?
You two are agreeing on a lot tonight.
You are, yeah.
Well, it's the
I
bus
know,
trip,
well,
mate.
mate, like, it is an advantage. Like 9 days.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like 9 day. Listen, it's a grand
nice to see.
final, but you'd play it after 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sides are played like a replay. You know, 3 days after. So it's a game that you'll play no matter how many days you got.
The cool thing is, the NRL have fallen in love with Sunday afternoon football. They love it. And the
Daytime grand final coming, Buzz.
They won't even consider. I know.
I'd love a daytime
I went to
grand
Peter
final.
Valandis. I spoke to him last week. I spoke to him again today. I said, Peter, please, afternoon grand
Mate,
final.
look at yesterday's
Can you
game.
ask
Look at
Pete?
yesterday's game.
Can you ask Pete, would he move horse racing tonight?
Oh, you wouldn't. Well, you're not going to move. You don't like an afternoon grand final.
All right, we're going to move on.
That's what I want.
Let's talk Bulldogs. They were brave, but injuries and the spine shake-up leaves them fighting for survival. The Monday Buzz took a fair swipe today, Buzzy.
At the Doggies?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I think they've blundered. I do.
Why's that?
I think their decision to drop Reid Marnie for Bailey Haywood is a mistake. Paul Bailey missed 13 tackles the other day, and they've only got a 33% win record with him there. With Reid Marnie there, they got a 75% record. It's clear cut. They're a better side with Reid Marnie. It's so clear, it's not funny. Having said that, Haywood's a terrific player, half 5'8", lock or backup hooker. Now, in the halves, I have similar stats that prove beyond doubt that they are a better side with Toby Sexton at halfback. And I can see the look on your face over there. I can see you're going to challenge this. I back it up with cold, hard facts.
Buzz, the fact is, earlier this year, you were highly critical of Reid Marnie and said he would cost them a finals game.
Absolutely, I was.
Discipline
Just like I was
issues.
critical of Madge, and I'm going to stick my hand up and say that.
But now you're saying
he
you're
got,
wrong?
No,
Were you wrong?
I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm saying Cameron Serrata had a chat to Reid Marnie and said to him, mate, you're giving away too many penalties, pull your head, and he did that.
Are you worried about his discipline, Reid Marnie?
Well, I wasn't the one who raised the issues with his
But are you
discipline.
worried about it?
No, not really.
No.
But I think Reid Marnie, he'll be in
Brian should be in the hooker.
He'll be in the. I think I'm happy with Bailey Hayward at hooker. But
You're happy with 13 missed tackles?
No, but if Reid Marnie's in the 17...
Don't you pick your team on fire?
Reid Marnie's in the 17 this week, then he'll be able to come on and give Bailey Hayward a rest and give him a break.
You can't miss 13 tackles.
It's not great.
Can't
But
miss-
how many times has Bailey Hayward done that this year?
You can't
No,
miss
no,
13
no, no,
tackles.
no.
The other important
I'm not saying
statistic
drop him
is...
completely.
Can I say one of the things?
You
One
can say whatever you
of the
like,
criticisms
Brent
of Reid Marnie that you and others have made is over his defence.
No,
he's
listen,
never
Yeah, but if you
13.
drop someone for their defence and someone comes in and misses 13...
Well, I don't think did he get dropped for his defence?
we don't
I don't
know
think
that.
he did.
That's, why did he get dropped?
I don't know.
Reedy, the other important, Canterbury are in all sorts.
Well,
They
got
have
some-
lost,
yeah.
they have won 4 of their last 9 games, and he's tried every trick to change that side. Now, when I say they've won 4, it's really 3 because they beat Penrith reserve grade. So let's make it 3.
They were awesome on the weekend through pure courage, determination.
I thought they were good too.
It
Absolutely
showed
they
how
I thought the Dogs were
the solidarity there and the culture that they've got. They're a team, right? They're a club. But still the finesse wasn't there. They had injuries and all that. We know that, right? And their backs were against the wall, but still, and I know
Two of those losses were to Melbourne. They could have easily won both those games.
But they didn't.
No, they didn't. But they could have won them both. They were in both those games. You raised it against Melbourne 2-3 weeks ago, but they held up at the line 3 times from memory.
Oh, you're telling the story.
So they could have easily won that game 3 weeks ago.
Canterbury will write all this off. As Gus Gould will tell Cameron that it's media destabilisation, that they're after you, they want to unsettle the players. But I said, when Galvin came across, Braith said as well, that it has enormous potential to disrupt this football side. And you know what? We've been proven right.
And as I've said numerous times, they were already on the slide at that point.
How were they on the slide,
They
mate?
lost 2 of their 4 games before he got there.
But the one,
And they've been
Do you
flogged.
think Galvin's been a success?
No, well,
No, come on,
obviously
I'm
you
asking the
can't say
question.
that because they haven't,
Well, I'm
they haven't
asking
won
you.
as
You're
many games as
attacking me.
That's the
they
point here, Rudy. That's the point. They didn't look like scoring on the weekend until Sexton got on the field. They scored 2 tries in 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what, maybe it shows that Galvin's a 6, not a 7.
No,
maybe it shows he needs 3 months
Not
to
maybe.
learn how
It
to play
does show
halfback.
that.
Or does it show that they erred in dropping Toby Sexton? You're saying now Galvin's a 6.
No,
When Burton...
yes, I am. But you know what?
So they
weren't going to win.
made a
They weren't
mistake.
going to win the comp with Sexton and halfback.
How do you
We'll
know?
never know that now. We'll
Okay.
never know that.
Well,
How do you
Cameron
know that?
Sorrell, they thought it. I think
That-
it.
that doesn't-
You thought it at one point this year because you seem to be happy with it.
Early in the season,
Okay.
that was
drink too
after
much
around 3 or
Kool-Aid,
4.
really.
I'll
And
tell
then
you
I
something
changed.
about
Then I
Cameron
said I reckon
Sorrell.
they
I'll tell you
can.
something
Tell me
about
something
Cameron
about
Sorrell. He is going to be a sensational coach, but you can't get away from the fact mistakes have been made. The interesting thing is on that column I wrote this morning, you look at the readers' comments, even from Canterbury, they're 95% in agreement with what we're basically saying here tonight about Sexton and Reid Marnie.
We said it last week.
That's
though.
their fans.
The Galvin signing is it's a long term. They've taken a long term view with it. There's been some short term pain,
Well,
but
if
it
it's a
will pay
long-term
off
view,
in the long term.
If it's a long-term view, don't rush him
That's
in
what I
when you're
think,
high
yeah.
flying at the
If it's a long-term
comp.
view, why destabilise this year? Like,
Because I think they thought they were a better chance of winning this
okay,
year with him.
regardless of
in
that,
the
okay, I want
team.
to move on from this because we've gone over this so much. What do I do this week then?
Well, they play Sexton and halfback, and Galvin at 6, and Burton in the centres.
Hang on.
Well, they've
And
got it.
Marnie,
Hang on.
And
Sorry.
Marnie at
You
Well,
9.
they
just
have a choice.
argued that it was the right decision. Now you're saying you're going to put Sexton in this
Well,
week.
what else do they do? How else do you
Well, exactly.
handle it?
No, because they make because
Because Crichton's not available, so you push Burton in the centres.
But okay, if Crichton,
logical,
if Crichton
right?
was in, would you have left the halves the same?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. What would you guys have done?
Oh, no, Sexton comes back in and Marnie.
If
Give him a
Crichton-
real chance. Give him a real chance in front of
I'd
80,000.
Marnie
You know
on
what
the
I'd
bench
do?
this
And it'd
weekend.
be a really hard thing to do. If Crichton was fit, I would play Sexton and Burton in the halves.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'd have Sexton and Galvin, and I'd probably move Burton to the centres with
Yeah,
Sherry.
but I'm doing it with Crichton.
The bottom line is here is they just need a halfback playing halfback. They have overanalyzed, overcomplicated, overthought this whole process.
They've got a young halfback coming through, Braith, and Mitchell Woods will play there for a long time, and Galvin will probably
Okay,
be the
we'll
sixth
put him in there now then.
Well, he's not ready yet,
Let's
Gordon.
just
there you
skip-
go,
let's
and neither
just-
is the
let's
other
jump
kid.
3 years' time.
And neither is the other
Braith,
kid.
There was a point this season they realised they weren't going to win the comp with Toby Sexton and halfback.
So they'll come in
So
first.
they went and got
hang on,
Lachlan
slow
Galvin.
down.
Yeah.
They'll win in the comp, and they decided at that point they're not going to win the comp.
Clearly they did.
They didn't let them
Don't you
sort
think
it
that's
out.
bizarre?
Well, I didn't think they were going to win the comp. I said it from the start of the year.
Bizarre.
You don't think they've erred in dropping Sexton
No.
now?
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
No.
All right, let's move on. Okay, I've had enough.
Really?
All right,
same here.
some very
Boys, very
Please,
staunch, really.
Can we
Stop
please
drinking the
move
Kool-Aid.
on?
Put it to bed. All right, so some very sad news today with the death of legendary player agent Wayne Beavis, who we've all known, been associated with. He was a legend. I love Wayne. Absolute champion bloke. What about him, Beaver, eh? What a...
83 years of age, one of the
Personality.
greatest characters I've ever met in rugby league. Whenever I rang him, there was a scandal with Jared Hayne, there was a scandal with another player, whatever. He'd say, Buzz, it's a storm in a teacup. Nothing's happened, it's all... And he was so protective of his footballers. He really, really was, almost to a fault, some of the things he did for them, you know. And you look at the media career that people like Bo Ryan have forged. And I remember I was sports editor of the Telegraph one day, and Freddie had just retired. So he came in, we had a beer, and he said, "You got to put Freddie on as a columnist." He said, and this is long before anyone thought about Freddie, the TV star, which he is now. And Wayne was behind all that. He really was.
Well, you heard how much he meant to Bo Ryan today on radio. Bo Ryan on Triple M, he broke down in tears. He spoke about him, had to leave the studio. So he was a game changer, sort of ahead of his time, Wayne Beavis.
He had a few
remarkable.
run-ins in the media because he was overprotective of his players.
Yeah, very sad day for rugby league as we head to the break. We would like to pass on our condolences to the Beavis family and all of Wayne's friends from everyone here at Foxley. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the nominees for our Sportsbet Player of the Round. Can anyone beat Reece Walsh this week? Jonah Pezza, 2 line break assists for the Melbourne Storm. Cleary, 4 forced dropouts. Mulatalo was on fire with 2 tries, but Reece Walsh, how good was he yesterday?
So good.
Unbelievable.
Freakish.
Trying to think when there was been a bigger, more dominant figure in rugby league than this guy is right now. And I can't think of it.
He
but
is the closest thing we've got to a rock star. I know he hates it, but he is.
No, he is a rock star, and he likes that tag too, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
Mate, and he plays up to it. Like, but Braith, his 40-20s, when he hides behind the ruck and comes out, they are so hard to defend.
But you know when Alfie was huge and all those guys, there was no social media. When Eddinghausen was huge. There is now. And this
Eddinghausen would add some followers, I reckon. Back in the day.
Sorry? He's got more
Eddinghausen would
than you
add some
two.
followers.
Eh? E.T.? Oh, yeah.
You can't hear me. All right, Matty Johns is coming up soon, so you
We'll
dribblers
get
have got to
out of
hurry
here,
up,
mate.
all right?
We'll get
Now,
out
is
of
Holbrook going to Newcastle? Is this official yet, or
It's
is
done,
it close?
yeah. It was made official
It's
about
done.
a half hour ago, Brent. The board ratified it, rubber stamped it. So Justin Holbrook's the new coach of the Newcastle
Really?
Knights.
Okay.
Yes.
You like that,
Beat
Buzz?
Dean Young, beat Michael Checker, beat Blake
Green.
Blake Green. I do like it. I think he's a much better coach than he showed on, and he'd have picked up a bit from Trent Robber.
How did they come to the conclusion that he was the best man for Newcastle?
I guess
Over the other candidates?
I guess the interview process. He's obviously interviewed really well, and while he didn't have a terrific win record at the Titans, I think they'd be impressed of his experience at the Roosters last couple of years.
Yeah. He's obviously got some Newcastle connections as well, Braith, which I think is important. But, you know, he's learned off the best. Robbo, he's won in England. Didn't win at the Titans, but he has won in England. So he's got a big job ahead of him.
Where does this leave Blake Green? Because he was favourite early doors, but that didn't happen.
Well, I'd say he's now on the lookout for an assistant coaching job somewhere in the NRL. There's a lot of jobs up for grabs at the moment in terms of assistants, and he'll get one because he's a clever coach and he's going places.
There's no chance of him staying.
I wouldn't have thought
There?
so, no. Doubtful.
Okay,
I think they've made the right decision. I think it was a gamble with Blake Green. I don't think they can gamble. They've got the biggest rebuild in their history almost since they last won all the wooden spoons.
Well, what's he got to do when he gets in there? What's the priority? What's the first thing he does when he walks in?
I'd walk in and ask Callum Ponga. I want it straight up, here and now. Are you committed? Do you want to be here? Do you want to go to the All Blacks? I need you on board.
I'm with Buzz. And he's got to be seen off the same hymn sheet as Kalen because if he can fire Kalen up, they're a chance to play a finals footy next year.
All right, thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Buzz.
Good
that
on
was
you,
fun
mate.
yet again. You go rest up. You've been busy,
I
Buzz.
bet your Matty's getting paid more than me and Reed.
You got an event to go to?
I do. I'm
here
up
he
to
is.
the Full Stadium. Here he is.
I do it for nothing. Stop it.
Oh, please. Give me a break.
You were spotted on
All right,
that,
up next, we dissect all the footy from the weekend with the man himself, Matty Johns.
Quick play the ball, well done. Sets up the kick for Jonah Peasant. And another good kick.
Oh,
and over the sideline. Quick play the ball. Grant, Munster, Lasati. Last tackle, clearing. Face ball, goes to Papali'i. Crashes through. Talakai to Trindle. Floats it over the top. Donatello scores.
To win the game, Ben Hunt, he's only got one field goal in his career. He kicks it. It's long. It's over. The comeback in the capital is complete.
Welcome back. Those were our smart plays of the round, thanks to Matronics, and welcome to the great man, Matty Johns.
Braith, sweet Gordon, how are
There you go, mate.
We're back together, mate.
Reunited.
Yes.
Like a
yes.
beautiful love story, Matty.
Well, kind of.
Just glad those other two aren't with you.
All right, what about the game yesterday, Matty? Like, that's the finish, the drama.
Yeah.
Where do you rank that amongst games?
Well, I did a bit of a list of my top 5 games that I've ever seen. I'd love doing lists. So the first, 89 grand final, of course. 89 grand final was just insane. So I still to this day the greatest grand final. I was a Balmain Tigers fan. Honestly, I went to sleep crying. Not for the first time, by the way. But just an insane game of football and
a lot of drama in this one as well, right?
Incredible, mate. It just, going into extra time, the Steve Jackson stuff. This one here, Chicka Ferguson, it was just a game that I thought, we'll never see a better game than this, and there's not many that have been. The second one is the 2015 grand final, Gordon. Talk about that grand final, a special one for you, being a North Queensland boy, and that was just insane. I remember I was up in North Queensland for the game, although it was Hamilton Island, but it was just, mate, the place just went off, and like the 89 grand final, just the conclusion of the game. It was just, it was amazing. Here it is, comes up here. Oh no, other one. But the other one I'd say is, after that, and we go way back for this one, is the 85 Challenge Cup final at Wembley Stadium. So you've got 100,000 people there. You've got Brett Kenny versus
Sterling.
Peter Sterling.
Yeah.
You've got Muggo, Chicka Ferguson, all playing those games. 100,000 people. And I remember in this game, here's Brett Kenny. I remember he was criticised because he walked onto Wembley with his hands in his pockets. And they said, well, obviously this bloke doesn't want to be there. Scored 2 tries, got the Lance Todd trophy. Still they talk about it in England. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Yeah. And the second one, the one that I think is probably the greatest game I've ever seen, was 1990 Kangaroo Tour.
Yes.
Game 2 at Old Trafford. This is Paul Lachlan. Paul Lachlan, the intercept here, the big double hand put down. It was just an insane game of football. You know, that famous try Australia, that the boys score, going through 12 or 13 sets of hands, and this one here to win it. Lee Jackson taking the dummy. In my opinion, that game 2 at Old Trafford, I think that is the best game of rugby league I've ever seen.
I remember this game. And I was only 8, I think, but I remember this game, and it was special.
Matty, yesterday, like Origin and all these big games are about moments, right? Yesterday there was moments. The sin binnings.
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
Well, Gordon, it was really... I think it was crucial in the game for the Broncos because day football, as you know, boys, we're just talking about the ad break. Day football is so fast, so intense, and you could see just before half time the big guys in the middle of the field, the big middles, were hitting the wall. But right at the time that Reece got sin binned, I was sitting there out the back there, and I said, "Mate, have a look at the big guys. The big guys are gone. They're gone in their feet." Reece gets sin bin. He gets sin bin. So does Hudson. Then after Pat Carrigan, so it's 12 versus 11. And the intensity and the pace of the game increases with less people on there. Meanwhile, Reece is sitting in the sheds with his feet up, freshening up, reassessing, resetting, and he just comes out and he blitzes. It was, an absurd way to think about it, but him having that 10 minutes off the field, I think was a huge factor in Brisbane winning the game.
So do I. You're right. He had time to... And just his speed. He was like he was shot out of a cannon when he came back onto the field. And in semi-finals like Origin, you fatigue quicker, back end of games. It is the little men that normally do take advantage, have 10 minutes rest, and it was to his advantage. But I want to talk about emotionally for the Raiders. I don't think you talk about one of the best games ever. Not many would have experienced what they did yesterday, winning the game pretty much 2 or 3 times. Yeah. How do they come back from this?
Well, that's funny because Madge and Ricky would be both up in the box watching. We better win this. It's going to be hard to get our sides up. 7 or 6 days later. One thing about the Raiders, they're at home again at night. Beating Canberra at home at night is as tough as back in the day beating Melbourne at home at night. So that's an advantage. But it was interesting last night on the Sunday night show. We had Brad Clyde and Kevy on, and we're showing the 95 Week 1 final series between those two sides, which is one of the... They talk about one of the great finals. Kevy said to me, he said, "Matty, that's the hardest club game I ever played in." Interesting, neither side made the grand final. Both got picked off by the Bulldogs on the way through.
That's the concern after yesterday. Yeah. That's the concern.
Tough.
Right, mate, with the injuries to Brisbane, obviously we don't know about Billy Watters. If Reynolds comes back in, do Brisbane try to play that same style?
Would you bring Reynolds back in either way?
I would.
Okay.
I would. I definitely would. Tell you what's happened. With Renault not being there, it's funny, they got neck tied to a more simple style of football that's really worked for them. And I reckon, Gordy, like watching you blokes, watching the great Brisbane sides over the years, I reckon the Broncos have a very sort of special, unique style of football. Yeah. They accept errors, they can absorb errors, they push the ball around, and I reckon that's what they've gone back to. Yeah. So I think with Renault coming back in, mate, he's such an intelligent player. I think Madge will say, hey, listen, we need less sophisticated sequences. We just need to get the ball into that bloke's hands where he likes it.
And Reece.
That's it, exactly.
Pretty simple game plan. Yep. And add to that Renault's kicking game, and it's a pretty good recipe for success. Now, the Warriors tried hard, but the Panthers too good, Matty. Where were they too good?
Well, I tell you what's interesting, when you watch Penrith play, Penrith do a thing, I call it suffocation sets, and it took them a while to get it on, Braith. Like, the game was really physical early, and the Warriors really held their own. But as the half started to transpire, you could see that they were starting to win the yardage game, the Panthers. And when they start to win the yardage game, they do their suffocation sets, which is Nathan hitting the ball early, right into the corners of the field. They chase like maniacs and they tackle like killers, mate, and they just get them in that corner and they go for it. It's no coincidence, after that set of 6 is they score. That set of 6 after. And that's when they do that, get those types of sets on, the dismantling starts. So they get that on, they put the ball in the corner, and suddenly the points start to flow. They score the try, and then not long after, they get a repeat set, then they get another repeat set. The Warriors don't touch the ball for about 8 or 9 minutes, and then they come out after half-time, and Schneider scores. What you describe at, boys, is these are all the repeat sets. Schneider, given the context of the game, the type of game it was, you'd say that the try from dummy half was a soft one, but it's a byproduct of what happened the 15 minutes earlier, and that's how Penrith play.
Building pressure, great kicking game in the wet.
Mate, oh, look, there it is there.
Yep.
Mate, going to the Sharks, Mulatalo told everybody they can go shove it in their pipes, but is he their barometer? Like, is he? No, but he did. But like, well, it's strange. Wingers coming off their winger, but like even having a mouthpiece, is he their confidence? The Sharks?
Yeah, he's their pulse, I reckon. You know, every side's got one. Like he brings the swagger and he brings the menace, and then he gets out there and he chirps and he gets in their face. And you know, you play. I love playing alongside those blokes who chirp away, bit of sledging, particularly blokes like who can back it up. And I thought he was, you know, to come out and say what he did leading into the game and then just back it up was fantastic. But, I mean, he and Fanua Blake led yardage and Katoa. Fanua Blake, mate, if you talk about the best middles who have played the game, you talk about Lazo, of course, talk about Taumalolo, talk about Payne Haas, you've got to talk about this bloke. They brought him to the club to win these type of games, and there was a period during the second half of the games on the line. Every time he got the ball, he just kept punching through. He's phenomenal football.
He has aimed up, hasn't he? Before you go, Matty, Justin Holbrook, named as the coach of Newcastle as an ex-legend. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a really good appointment. Look, great blokes don't always make great coaches, but he is a tremendous fella. And I remember him when he came to Newcastle as a player. Straight away, he fit right into the community and the team. Very well respected, liked. Did a great job at St Helens, 80% win rate there, won competitions, went at the Titans. Like in hindsight, oftentimes with coaches, you look in hindsight, it's the best way of judging what sort of job they were doing. He was doing a good one. But I think he'll do it. It's a big job.
What's his first priority when he gets in there? What does he do first?
Buy a photocopier? No, mate, straight away. I tell you what I'll be doing straight away. He's just got to be a part of every part of the club, including the pathways.
And
he's got to fix in community.
Yeah, nice. Well done, Matty. Great analysis. Thank you very much. And there's plenty more of Matty to come up next. It's Matty and Cronk.
Inside the 40, Walsh on an angle. It's a great kick. It's a 40-20, and he did it so easily. Brisbane outfit some hope. Now the kick from inside the 40. No way! No way! Walsh! This is shades of Cleary in the 23 grand final. What is going on?
My gosh. Reece Walsh swings from right to left, absolutely launches it down to the 10-metre line. Look at him.
Welcome back. That was Reece Walsh making his mark thanks to Steel Blue Boots. And our Sportsbet player performance of the round is Reece Walsh with 64% of the vote in a 4-horse race. An absolute whitewash after his blockbuster game yesterday. And Gordy, that's it.
The only surprise is I thought he should have had 100. He could have. And they're probably his size too.
Probably.
Coming your way, Reece.
That's it for NRL 360 for tonight. Now it's time for Matty and Cronk.